Where I last left off with you guys, I tore a bunch of the fences down in this corral that were damaged, broken, and just old, needed to be replaced. And today I want to start the process of rebuilding that. Now, I'm doing a lot of this in the evenings after work during the week because my dream scenario is that I can get this stuff done and then maybe use this corral this weekend to haul some cows out of here. I'm not sure if I'll get that far or not, but we're gonna try. That's what we're doing today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I'm trying to just set little goals for myself each night of how much progress I want to try to make. And tonight's goal is to just get the posts dug, the holes dug rather, and get the posts in the ground and cemented. I'm not sure how well this ground is going to dig though. So worst case scenario, I might just dig down a little bit, and if the ground gets too hard, I might have to soak these tonight and finish digging them tomorrow. The good news is that probably the most important post that I'm putting down here, because it's the one that all the other posts will be measured off of, I'm actually just putting in the old hole from the post that I pulled out. So I am going to redig it just to make the hole a little bit bigger, but I know that I'm going to be able to dig that one because there's already a big giant hole in the ground, and that auger won't have any trouble just sort of widening that up a little bit. So without further ado, let's go get the tractor, put the digging auger on there, and see what we can do. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me over the tractor and the generator and everything, but anyway, we got our first post in the ground here. Obviously there's no cement yet, that's why it's crooked, but this is the post that the gate is going to hang off of. So like I was saying, this is a pretty important post because where this one is going to determine where the one is that the gate latches, and also to keep it in line, the last one over here. The same is true going back towards the tub. Once we have this post located, then we can make our straight line back to that post on the tub. So I think it's in the right spot. There's really nothing left to do but throw some concrete in the hole and get this thing squared up and kind of see what we got. I've got these 2 posts in, and there will be a 3rd one that goes right in the middle of these. And I almost dug the hole and cemented it in the ground. Fortunately, it dawned on me that once that post is there, it's going to be really hard to get the tractor in to get these other 2. So I'm going to dig those first, get them in the ground, and then I can do this last one. This post is actually very critical as well, because after it's in, eventually it will be part of this loading alley. I need to make sure that I get that hole as close to the loading alley fence line as I can, because I'm going to want that post right up against there, so that when I build the loading alley, it's not, it doesn't end up being too wide. I want it to be the same as it is now. So I'm going to have to just dig right up against those boards, and then I might have to come back in with the shovel to move that hole over a little bit more, just so I can get that post right on those boards and still get a little cement on the other side of it. All right, well, it is about 11 o'clock, but I got all the posts done, which I'm really happy about, because I wasn't sure that I'd have enough steam to keep going and get all these done. But you know, when you get down to only having 1 or 2 left, you just kind of have to finish. So now that we have the posts in, this is good, because I can let the concrete cure for a couple days, and then I can get out here with the welder and some pipe and start finishing this up. It's been a few days since we cemented these poles into the ground, and now it's time to come in here and weld in all the cross pipes. So I got my welder here, I got my pipes. Let's get to work. I thought I'd stop here real quick and show you guys how I'm hanging this gate. In the last video, if you saw that, you remember me talking about how important it is that you hang your gates in such a way that they're easily replaceable. So I'm working with 4-inch square tubing that I'm hanging this gate on, and it's just a little bit too narrow for the hole pattern on the gate. And rather than weld that hinge onto the post and making it a really big job to replace that gate if that day ever comes, let me show you what I figured out instead. I ended up going with channel iron that I cut to about 4.5 inches so that it was just the right size for that hinge piece on the gate. The channel iron holds that hinge far enough off the post so that I can get a nut back there, but it's not so far that it's going to create a gap where animals might think that they can fit through there. It should be just about right. The only thing that I can see being a problem is it actually makes a pretty good place for wasps to get in there and make a nest. So that is something that I'll have to watch. But this gate is, these rails are hollow on the bottom, so these gates usually fill up with wasp nests anyway. So I'll be out here with the spray no matter what, and these will actually be really easy to see if they do decide to build one there. I think I need some oil. I think that's as far as I'm gonna get this weekend, but that's all right because I've pretty well gotten done what I was hoping to get done. I've only got just a few little sort of finishing touches, if you will. Some are more important than others, but let me show you what they are. The first thing that I'm gonna have to come back and do is cap the tops of these posts. I don't like to leave them open for a couple of reasons. For one, they'll just fill up with water and could potentially rust from the inside out. And for two, it's another place for wasps to get in and build a nest. And I just think that it sort of cleans up the look of the fence, and that's what I've been doing with the rest of these. So that's what I'm gonna have to do with these. Another little thing is I want to weld a pipe across here from the new post to the old post. And the purpose of that, well, there's a couple of purposes actually. For one, it keeps a cow from getting her head in there, or maybe a calf from even trying to escape through there. But the other thing that it does is it gives me a place, or it gives me a step, because I'm all the time coming on and off of this catwalk right here. That's why I left this open the way it is. But if I had a little step here, that would really make things a lot easier. Now, that being said, I can't probably leave this like that because that's a pretty big gap and somebody might try to jump up in there. So I'm gonna have to either do like a swing gate here that, you know, it's easy for me to come and go, or I might just weld like one more pipe in here and it'd be easy enough to step over that. But I think that would be enough to deter anyone from trying to jump up there. This gate still needs a latch. You can see that we've just got a big gap here with nothing for the gate latch to hook into. So I'll take some measurements here and I'll probably build that back at the shop. So all I have to do is just weld it on that post and that shouldn't be too bad. The last thing is painfully obvious when we look at it, and that is there is still nothing here. So I think I mentioned before that this is going to be a fence line bunk feeder, but what's going to be unique about it is it's also going to be a gate. So again, I think that's something that I'll build back in the shop, and all I will have to do is weld the hinges onto that post, and I'll be able to mount that up. The reason that I decided to make this a gate, well, there was a couple of reasons that I decided to do that. Number one, if I open the gate here, it'll give me a second option for loading cattle, because I could just back the trailer right into this little gap and somebody could walk right up. I'm mostly thinking of like if I got a Hereford bull that had bigger horns on him, and this single file loading alley might not work for him because he could bump his horns on there. They may not even fit, and something like this would be a lot better. It'll also help for dragging this out. If I ever want to scrape this out, I'll be able to get a tractor in here easy enough. And in a in a bad case scenario, if I ever had a cow go down in here and I needed to get her out, this would be an easy entry point for me to get in here with the tractor. I honestly don't think that this gate is something that I'll use very much, but it is just something that it's easy enough for me to add it now, and if I end up using it once over my lifetime, it'll be worth it. With all that being said, I'm actually really happy with the progress that I made this weekend, and I think over the next week, I can maybe get this thing all the way done and ready to be used again. Thanks for hanging out at the ranch with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.